Sandra, welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a place of education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit that great big subscribe button below right now. Please hit that bell icon so you get notified of every time I go live right now, post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you'll find it useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, a celebration of asexual diversity in their real life true stories as well. I'm also the founder of asexualise.com, the founder of Asexualise Academy, and also the author of this wonderful fibromyalgia self-help handbook, which is how to manage fibromyalgia to have less pain, more energy and feel happier like a superhero rock star. In tonight's episode, I want to talk to you about dealing with the coronavirus and how to stay positive in difficult times and reduce anxiety. Now, I haven't really talked much about the coronavirus on this channel, and obviously it's causing quite a lot of chaos around the world. A lot of people are panicking. There's lots of uncertainty about the future. There's lots of people being bombarded with media, news, images of masks, of loads of people getting the virus, of people in hospital with the virus. There's loads of conspiracy theories going around on the internet. So there's a lot of things going on, which is making a lot of people feel very panicked, paranoid, upset, anxious, nervous, worried sick, right? And that's the problem. We've got to remember that the kind of term worried sick, because when you worry is actually when your body starts to not be so good at defending sickness. So when our mind has lots of negativity in it, when our mind is full of doubts, fears, worries, pain, stress, everything like that, lots of negative stuff, that then usually starts to manifest it some way into the body. So it goes into the subconscious mind, and then it will start to manifest in illness, disease, and sickness within the body, which is what we definitely don't want, because we want to try to not get the coronavirus ourselves. So our greatest form of protection, other than what the NHS guidelines are, other than what the World, Health organizations and things like that are giving us, about washing our hands and everything like that, sneezing into a tissue if you're going to sneeze, or your sleeve if you don't have a tissue on you, all these type of things, which is widely available on the internet. Obviously you need to look at that. And obviously if you have got the virus, you need to self-contain so you don't spread it to other people. But one of the ways in which you can help to prevent yourself from getting it is to get into a frame of mind and a state as much as possible of the opposite of what you're feeling right now. So all the kind of negativity, the dread, the worry, the anxiety, all those fears, okay, those fears and those worries and those concerns are more likely to make you susceptible to illness, sickness, viruses and stuff, which is what we don't want. Okay, so we have to do the opposite of what we feel like doing. We have to do the opposite of what we actually feel, right? And we have to try and change our feelings as much as we possibly can using the power of our mind and using distraction techniques, refocusing our minds and things like that. So if you're in a state of panic, of fear, of loneliness, of desperation, of worry and pain and concern, I do understand, and I understand especially from an anxiety point of view, because I still have some anxiety. Years ago, if you didn't know, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder level 4. I believe the highest you can get is level 5. So I was really high up in the anxiety category, right? Literally everything pretty much would make me anxious. There wasn't much that didn't make me anxious. Obviously, I wasn't a 5, I was a 4, so some people have got more anxiety than I have, or did have, I should say. But I've learned over the years way of coping with it, my anxiety, and reducing it, right? So when all the world and everything is in chaos, what you need to do is center yourself, to put your mind and your body and your life in general in less chaos. You have to, in some way, detach yourself as much as possible from what's going on in the outside world. Now, this is obviously going to be very difficult, especially if you're concerned about loved ones, which is natural, family, friends. You know, I have friends I get concerned about. My best female friend, she is asthmatic, and she was in hospital twice within 12 months. And she had respiratory problems and couldn't breathe. And that was like not the coronavirus. This is going back the previous year, right? So she is a very high risk category, but she's going to be starting a new job soon. Yeah, because she's like, her attitude is, yeah, I'm high risk, and she's avoiding, going around gatherings as much as possible. But she said, you've just got to deal with it and crack on with life, And as sad as it is to think, that some people are dying and some people are severely sick, and it's horrible. And I don't wish them to be like that. I don't want anyone to be like that. I really hope and pray that they find a vaccine soon and that all this ends. But at the moment, they're not predicting that it's going to end anytime soon, right? That they're not going to find a vaccine right away or soon, right? So we have to defend our bodies in the best way possible with a positive mindset as much as possible. Now, if we are on if we're watching TV all the time, if we're on social media all the time, and all we're doing is consuming the news all the time, this is going to have a very, very negative impact on the mind and ultimately the body. It's going to lower the body's immune system and defenses. Hi, Ray. Nice to see you. It's going to lower the body's defenses and immune system. So although I understand that you may want to watch the news, please try and limit yourself to just watching it basically once or twice a day at the most, right? You don't want to be consuming the news all the time, because they are not telling you about all the people in the world that are well, that haven't got the virus, that are okay. They are focusing on the people that are sick, who have died, who could die. They are focusing on the virus all the time, right? They're focusing on the negativity, the pain, the death, and this creates illness in our own bodies, right? So to a certain extent, we have to shut ourselves off as much as possible from that, right? They've said to isolate physically and stay in your own home, right? Although that's not always possible, as we know, because sometimes we have to go out and get toilet rolls or go to loads of places to try and find toilet rolls. But they said to isolate our physicality, but we need to also isolate our mind to protect us against all this negativity, against all this scarcity, against all this fear. So once you're in your home and you are literally cutting yourself off physically from the outside world, you need to also do this to a certain extent mentally, right? And the way we do this is by not going on the news, not reading all these conspiracy theories, not looking at all these articles, not going on social media all the time, looking at every single different case there is of coronavirus. What we do is we detach ourselves from that as much as possible. We cut social media off or only use it to speak to friends and things like that, because community is very, very important at this point in our time. We need to stick together, but there's other ways of speaking to your friends other than social media. There's the telephone. Remember that? A thing that not many people use these days. There's the telephone, right? Pick the phone up. That doesn't require going on social media. Send a text. Start texting. You don't need to go on social media to do that. Emails as well. If you are being bombarded with all this stuff and you've got a very anxious personality, it's just going to make you worse going on social media. Believe me. I mean, stuff comes up in my newsfeed. I don't watch TV. I just put films on sometimes on my Blu-ray player. I haven't had the TV on for ages. I don't have the TV on even with this crisis going on, because you have to separate yourself from the crisis as much as possible. Ray, I video call my kids every day. This is really good, Ray. And it's so important, you know? It's important that we stick together, that we have a sense of community, you know? Because when we're sticking together, we have a sense of community. When just talking to someone can actually help lower your anxiety. Obviously, it can do the opposite. If you are talking to someone who's very, 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 very anxious about the world, if they have a very, very bleak outlook on life and the world with everything going on, and you've got an anxious personality, that can actually trigger your anxiety. I know from my past, not in situations like this even, but in the past, I had calmed down my anxiety, and I became friends with someone who had very bad anxiety, severe anxiety. They couldn't even go out the house some of the time because of it, right? Or couldn't even move very much because of it. And unfortunately, it made me more anxious, and I started getting panic attacks, and I hadn't had that for a long time. So just be very, very careful that, you know, who you talk to and what their mindset is like as well. You want to be helping each other to have a better mindset. So you want to be talking about other things, right? And like Ray said, he calls his kids every day, and that's really, really important. Obviously, if you've got children, they don't live with you, they need some comfort, especially in times like this. You know, this is when families should be coming together in a positive way as much as possible, to support each other, to love each other, to care about each other. It's very important that you have that support network, right? So in order to lower anxiety and to have a positive mindset during these times, you need to basically cut yourself off as much as possible from life that's going on in the outside world, and your mind, how you're feeling about it. Yeah, because we're isolating ourselves physically anyway at home. So if we cut our mind off, if we're okay, we're not contagious, we're at home, you know, or even if we're at home self-isolating, right? That, you know, there's no, unless there's your, you know, family, depends who you live with, but other than your spouse or whoever you live with, or if you live on your own like I do, there's no one else around, right? So we need to focus on things that we can do that are productive. So this might mean taking an online course, taking an online webinar, doing some projects that we've always wanted to do, whether it be pottery, artwork, drawing. Maybe it's just immersing yourself in a really, really good book. So you need to be taking your mind off the coronavirus chaos at the moment and stabilizing yourself. So you need to stabilize your world within your home, you know, and be grateful and thankful for all the things in your home. Focus on all the things you're grateful for, because when you're grateful for stuff, it makes you feel good. Ray, I practice my shooting in the garden. If that makes you feel good, Ray, which I know it will do, that's really, really good, because it's very, very good, because that's one of your hobbies and interests, isn't it? It's really, really important that you do that, because it's important to keep your mind active and off the outside world. You know, so many people are being told to isolate physically, but they're not told to be isolating their minds. You know, you need to isolate your mind from what's happening in the outside world as much as possible. Obviously, we know what is actually going on, but you need to isolate. You know, you need to be at home, do your favorite hobbies and interests. You need to maintain some sort of physical activity as well. I can't stress this enough. You know, you still need to maintain a healthy diet, you know, healthy food that you eat. I mean, if you eat a bit of comfort food, you eat a bit of comfort food. Just don't take it to extremes where you start really putting on a lot of weight and not like your body, right? But yeah, I mean, if you're sitting watching a movie, your favorite movie, why not have some popcorn, go your favorite crisps, you know, because it's important to stay healthy in the mind, you know. But make sure you're doing some exercise at home. Get an exercise mat, order one off the internet, or, you know, just do some gentle exercises like aerobic exercises. Put on a YouTube video and do some gentle touching on your feet, some stretching up and stuff like this. Because if you don't, say you're at home staying in bed a lot, your muscles will start to hurt. Your back will be in a lot of pain, particularly your lower back. Your hips will start to feel uncomfortable and hurt. and your body will start aching. And the more you have that, the more your mind will start thinking, hang on, I'm not feeling well. Maybe I'm getting ill. I don't want to get the coronavirus. Do you see how this goes? So it's best to keep your mind as positive as possible and your body as healthy as possible. Do some stretches. Do some like this, things over to the left, over to the right and stuff like this. Ray, if people keep taking food off the shelves, I have to hunt. Yeah. You have to do it legally though, Ray. You can't do hunting unless it's legal. You have to have licenses and stuff for that. But yeah, so it's very important that that we isolate ourselves, not just physically, but from what's going on in the outside world as much as possible, right? Especially if you haven't got the virus, So in order to not get it, you need to be kind of obviously listening to the advice. If you're going outside, all the advice that the health organizations tell you. So look at the advice, print it off, so you've got it nearby, so you know what to do. Get it embedded in your head, so you don't need to go on social media every 5 minutes looking, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Print it all off, or write it out by hand if you haven't got a printer. Oh, hi Sam. Lots of love to you, my best friend. Nice to see you. So print it off. So once you've got everything that you're supposed to do, if you can't remember what you're supposed to do from the health organization advice, write it down or print it off. If you've got a printer at home, write it down, and then you've got the details of what you actually need to do from the health authorities, right? Because that is important. But after that, you don't need to be going on that. I'm not on social media all the time. I'm not on social media all the time, right? I'm cutting off from social media as much as possible. Like I say, I would try, if you can, to not look at the coronavirus stuff apart from twice a day, and do not look at it just before you go to bed. If you've got to look at it, look at it in, like 1 o'clock, look at it at 6 o'clock, make specific times, go and look at it then forget like as much, take the information in that you need and then forget about it. At the end of the day, if you isolate at home or if you're just staying at home, right, there's no need for you to panic and worry about the coronavirus getting you if you have been isolating yourself. The only thing you need to worry about is you being so worried, so fearful, so frightened naturally, and having lots of negative emotions that have a negative impact on your body that lower your immune system, so you're more susceptible to getting it when you go out next. Which obviously, let's be realistic, we're going to have to go food shopping sometimes. We're going to have to go and get toilet rolls. We're going to have to go out sometimes. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to be able to stay in all day, every day, because some of us were starved to death, and you don't want to be taken to extremes where you're not eating properly and you're starving yourself, or not drinking properly. You need to be drinking lots of fluids. Sam, I'm primarily avoiding social media, just getting on with my projects. Yes. Sam, that's brilliant. Yes, that's what I was trying to say before you came on even. But yeah, you're really good. And I'm trying to avoid it as well. So, make yourself have a little cocoon at home. Make yourself have a cocoon at home. I am enjoying my time at home. I am putting my favourite music on. I'm jigging around to the music, being really happy, paying attention to my own life. Yes, I know there's chaos going on, but I need to center myself. That's what you need to do as a person. If you need to take your own life and health in your own hands, and you need to center yourself and focus yourself and calm yourself. And the only way you're going to do that is by not watching all the chaos consistently that's going on outside. It's just going to make you more anxious, more upset, more in pain, which is going to have a negative effect on your body, and you're more susceptible to get the virus then, right? Sam, so am I, getting loads of stuff done, listening to music and chilling. Yeah, it's really good. I mean, it's really good you're doing that. I'm glad, Sam. And it's really, really important, people, I mean, I don't want you to feel guilty about doing this as well, because obviously people are dying and we can feel quite guilty about doing this. But right now we're alive, right? The people that are dead, I don't want them to be dead. If I could bring them back, I would. But none of us can bring those people back, right? We have to focus on ourselves and keeping ourselves well, right? And part of keeping ourselves well is really keeping our mind well as much as possible. Even I have some negative thoughts coming into my mind, you know, probably not the same ones as most people are having. It's past negative thoughts that I get occasionally, right? And it's like, no. So I go in my negative thoughts, I go, you can shut up. I'm not listening to you. Go away. I'm like, you will not win. Negative thoughts will not win. Do you know what I mean? Ray, I still talking to Tundra. Oh, you're still taking Tundra to the beach? Yeah. I mean, yesterday I went out, you know, we have to understand there is a life outside of our homes, right? There's still loads of people that aren't sick. There's still loads of people that are okay. And we need to remind ourselves of this. Sam, yeah, I have them, but work past them and get on with stuff. Yeah, exactly. I think a lot of us have negative thoughts at the moment, and you know, it's hard. It is hard, you know, because obviously there's a lot of uncertainty, like people with jobs and stuff. I mean, you know, the people sometimes, you know, some people with illnesses like low immune conditions or autoimmune diseases, some of us, we spend a lot of time at home anyway. And so for us, it's not that much different. Like although I'm an extrovert, spend a heck of a lot of time at home on my own. So for me, it's not that much different. The difference is obviously, I mean, I don't tend to watch the news either, so that's no different to me. The difference is obviously I am a little bit more cautious when I go out. There's no toilet rolls on a lot of the time on the shelves. I'm having to buy more expensive stuff because people that have panic bought have bought the cheaper items that I, you know, or the items I would usually buy, which means I have to buy more expensive options, which is a pain in the bum. But at the end of the day, I'm still alive, so it's not that bad. And you know, and obviously there, you know, if I switch my phone on to go on social media, even on Facebook, there's loads of stuff obviously coming up about the coronavirus all the time, you know, and the fact that, like, for example, I've had to look today at what companies are going into administration. I want to know, you know, because there's no you know, like if you're looking at businesses, there's lots of businesses that are closing down at the moment, you know. It's good to like kind of look at that. I mean, it looks like Apple stores have shut their doors according to the news, and they're just temporarily, and they get, you know, you can still get help online and stuff like that. So things like that you kind of sometimes need to, if you're going, you know, if you need to contact anyone or go in a shop or something, you might need to see if they're open. So there is kind of like sometimes a need to go and look at that type of thing. But you know, it's best as much as possible to keep yourself as a safe contained unit, you know, enjoy your life at home, right? If you're free of the virus and you're at home, you can just enjoy your time, right? Enjoy being at home. Enjoy the fact that you've got beautiful home, you've got a roof over your head, food in your belly, when some people are homeless right now, you know, in the freezing cold. Some people are fighting for their life right now in hospital. You know, so we've got to count our blessings. We've got to be very, very thankful, you know. And I know it can seem really hard, you know, at times it can seem like, oh, you know, I don't want you to give up. I don't want you to give up hope or give up, you know, because some people might just feel like giving up, but there's no point in giving up, right? We're here for a specific reason and purpose in life, right? Even though sometimes it might feel like hell sometimes, what's going on, you know, we have to just realize that we are the better beings for being here, and that we need to be in life, you know. And it's important, you know, it's important. If we're here still, we're here for a reason. We're here because we've been gifted the gift of life still, and we have to remember that, you know. And like Sam said, working on their projects is really important. That's what I advise, you know, work on your hobbies, your interests. Like I said, read your favorite book, listen to music, you know, come on, change your state through music. I learned that you can change your state through music and movement. So don't just slump in bed, scroll through your phone of 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 different articles about the coronavirus, right? Just shut your social media off, put your favorite music on, dance around the room, do a little jig, keep your, you know, keep happy, keep bouncy, keep lively. You know, and it might seem a little bit wrong. It's like, well, people out there are suffering or panicking or worried, but you have to look after yourself, right? You do not want to be in a position where you get the coronavirus. You want to prevent that from happening as much as you possibly can within your own power, right? And this is where you do it. You know, you have projects. If you haven't got any projects, create projects or take a course, like I said, online. There's loads of courses online. There's a lot of free webinars, there's a lot of free courses or lower price courses or even more expensive courses if it's going to take weeks to sort this thing out, that you might want to do a more in-depth course, especially if it's something you've wanted to learn, like maybe it's photography, or maybe it's social media marketing, or maybe it's like painting and decorating or something like that. It tends to be courses in everything, and if you have got some money, then why not put it into your self-development? When you're developing yourself, you're growing yourself, you're focusing on becoming a better person. Just think of the bigger picture. Think, what happens when all this is over? What am I going to have done to improve my life now? If you're trying to improve your life now, then when we come out of this situation, we're going to be in a better position, that we've developed and grown ourselves. We've used this time of at home on our own for a period of reflection, a period of growing ourselves, a period of developing ourselves, a period of reflecting on our life, of what, like you should be writing down, for example, what's happening in different areas of life, what you intend to do for the coming months. So you're looking to the future in a positive way, and you're stabilizing yourself in the now. Like you need to have goals. You should be right. I have a diary, and every day I'm writing in my diary. And writing on a piece of paper as well, because I'm writing, every day I'm just putting, like filling my diary up with stuff. Now I'm on this at the moment, filling my diary up with this is like, see, piece of paper are flying out my diary at the moment. You see all this stuff. I'm really busy at the moment, I've been so busy, I haven't got enough time to finish everything I need to do. That's how busy I am, because I'm focusing on getting lots of stuff done. I'm like really busy now. I haven't really got time to think of very much. But I still make sure that I nourish my inner child, and that I'm taking care of me, because I do get some negative thoughts, And sometimes when we focus on work stuff too much, or we're not relaxing, that's also not good. So it's essential that you do get some relaxation in as well, things that make you laugh, like comedy, things that make you smile, things that make you feel good, because we need to be getting that good feel good factor into ourselves. We kind of need to isolate ourselves from the world, not just physically but mentally, in terms of like separating ourselves from the outside world of the negativity, the fear and all that lot that's happening in the moment, all the negative stuff. And we need to be taking stock of our own life and focusing on our own little world. Like, I tend to live in my own little world anyway a lot of the time. So to me, although I'm in the world, I feel like that's I'm in my own little world separate to that. And that makes me very strong in that way. It makes me like resistant. It makes me like, well, it ain't happening. I'm here to stay. It ain't happening. Right? It's not going to happen. I've had 3 respiratory infections since the end of October, and I've got over every single one. The last 2 without antibiotics, right? The second time was really bad. One night I felt like I couldn't breathe. My nose was running. I had to stay awake all night watching movies, had the windows open. That was a really hardcore temperature high, body cold. That was before the coronavirus. That was my respiratory infection, But I got over that. It took me about 2 weeks, but I got over it, So if I can get over 3 respiratory infections in the last few months, I'm sure I can get through anything in life. And that's the attitude you have to have. I can get through anything in life. Don't be scared, Just think you can get through anything in life. And if you do get flu or flu-like symptoms, don't panic. In some ways, obviously, if you need to see a doctor, go to hospital, then obviously do what you need to do. If you can't breathe and you need assistance breathing, you have to go to a hospital, don't you? But if you just got flu and it's manageable flu, right? Don't panic and start thinking it's a coronavirus when you've got a flu, because even if it was, if you're not displaying the other symptoms like the sore throat, the breathing problems are the worst, obviously, because you need help sometimes. If you've got breathing problems, it's affecting your lungs, you need to get to hospital ASAP. Do you know what I'm saying? But do you know what I mean? If you've got like flu-like symptoms, it's best not to think negatively, like, oh, this is a coronavirus. You don't want to be thinking that state. In some ways, it's better to think, okay, well, I think this is flu for now. If I start getting worse, I'll call, obviously, if you're really bad, you have to go and get immediate attention, right? But, otherwise, don't panic. Don't start putting things in your head that this is a coronavirus if it probably isn't. One of our dear friends, is poorly with the flu at the moment, you know, but they haven't got the breathing problems or the throat problems. So we think it's just a case of bad flu. But you know they're isolating at home, and we wish them well. Get well soon, Andy. So it can happen that friends become poorly and ill, and you've got to keep your eye on them. Keep in contact with your friends, make sure they're okay, but just don't go around looking. So when I say isolate yourself at home, still keep in touch with your friends and family and loved ones, because you need that connection. You do need that connection. But like I said, if you've got someone that's always going on about how bad everything is in the world, it's not going to help you. It's really not. I know people like that. And as much as I love them, it's like panic, panic, panic. It's like, stop panicking. I said, I'm not going to live in fear. I'm just not going to live in fear. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to completely stay indoors 24/7, 365 days a year all the time either. Do you know what I mean? Like I live on my own. I have to go and get food and stuff for myself anyway. You know what I mean? So, I think if you're in open space areas, then it's better for you to go in open space areas if you're going out. Do you know what I mean? And luckily, there's quite a lot of open spaces. But obviously, in a supermarket, you've got to go to supermarkets sometimes. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean? You can't starve yourself to death. Do you know what I'm saying? So, obviously, if you're contagious, if you've got someone who can go out for you and leave it on the doorstep, and then you pick it up and without touching them, then that would be a safer option. If you've got someone to get your food, they leave it outside the front door for you, give you a ring, leave it outside the front door, you pick it up. Do you know what I mean? And you can either put the money in their bank account or pay them later, that type of thing. Then, if you can do that, do that, But, you don't want to be like not eating or drinking at all. Ray, I'm experimenting making new foods. That's really good, Ray. Yeah, it's a very good time to experiment with cooking. I mean, in general, you'll probably have more time on your hands if you're at home, because usually you'd be going out, or and you might be saving more money by not going out. At the moment, I'm spending more money because I'm spending more money on food at home, but because of, like I said, there's a shortage of foods I usually eat in the supermarket, although I've stocked up on some. So I've paid more money now to stock up for 2 or 3 weeks on my cereals, for example, but not on all foods yet. So I think that's a really good thing. I think it's a good opportunity to experiment with food, do things around the home, cookery, and maybe you need to clean your home. If you want to get stuck into clean, do everything possible to take your mind off what's going on in the outside world. I know it might sound weird, but this is what you need to do. You need to take your mind off the outside world, separate your mind from as much as possible. Think you're okay in your own little world. Everything's fine. Everything's good. You are safe. You are going to be fine. Everything's good. You can, you're allowed to be joyful in your own home. You're allowed to be happy. You're allowed to think, I'm free to be me. You're allowed to think, I'm okay to do a bit of dancing around my home. You're allowed to think, I'm okay to enjoy this film, because I know it can seem a bit like, oh, well, people are suffering out there and why I'm enjoying myself. But, you need to. You need to be enjoying yourself. Not everyone is sick. There are loads of thousands of people that are not ill, that are fine, that are happy, that are living their life, that are still enjoying their life. What we don't want to do is get into a world where we're so fearful that we don't go out at all or ever. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that was just, that's just like some movie coming true, and you can't live that way. A life lived in fear is a life half lived, my grandma used to say to me, and I totally agree. I refuse to live in fear. I'm not gonna live in fear. I'm not saying I haven't got some fears, but I'm refusing to let them take over me. Do you know what I mean? It's like, no, I mean, like I said, sometimes I have some negative thoughts. It's like, okay, I accept that I've had a negative thought, but I'm not going to accept it happening. So you can get back and get over their negative thought. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes we have to recognize our negative thoughts and think, okay, that's a negative thought. Thank you for sharing. Because the reason we get negative thoughts as well in scenarios like this is because it's designed to protect us. Like our own body, our own mind's designed to protect us. So it's designed to sense danger. It's designed to sense things that are fearful. It's designed to sense all these type of negative emotions and want to protect us. So naturally, we get anxious because the anxiety is trying to protect us from getting hurt. It's like, oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What should we do? Blah, blah, blah. And that's designed to protect us. So it's not like it's a really bad thing, but it's bad if it gets out of hand and causes you a lot more psychological pain or pain in your body, So it's really important that you do take time out for you. You do literally do your hobbies, your interests, focus on your passions, focus on new stuff, and be supportive of your family, friend, and loved ones. Video chat and phone them whenever you can. Like Ray says, they are trying new things, like experimenting, making new foods. Sam's getting on with the projects, listening to music, chilling out. This is what you need to do. So cocoon yourself from the outside world a lot of the time, cut off from it, isolate yourself from the negativity out there, not just physically, isolate yourself from all this negativity that's going on. Enjoy being in your own home while you have the opportunity to, because it won't always be like this. So if you've got time off work, enjoy your time off work, If you're at home working, then enjoy being able to have the experience of working at home, not having to go out driving or walking to work in the cold, or like having to serve customers. Maybe you've got a job where you're serving customers, but you don't always feel like it. Just think about all the blessings of having this time to be able to be at home. There might be a lot more remote working in the future, a lot more home working, which would be good for some of us. Some of us could do with that. Maybe it'll help people that are disabled to get more jobs if they can work from home and stuff. And the good thing about asexuals is we don't tend to go around having lots of sex. So it's not like we're going clubbing, having loads of sex, or going places and having loads of sex and then spreading disease and illness. That is a huge benefit of being asexual. If we don't like sex and we're not going around having sex with loads of people, obviously some asexuals are in relationships with sexuals and still having sex. But we're not going to have casual one night stands usually in loads of relationships and go out and have loads of sex, and that's a huge benefit of being asexual, because the people that go around doing that and going out sleeping with lots of people, they got more chance of being infected, obviously, because they're coming into bodily contact with a lot more people. So that is a huge benefit. So you have to be thinking, and a lot of the people that are on benefits because they've got mental ill health or disability, a lot of people like that do spend a lot of time at home anyway. So for them, it's not going to kind of be much different in those ways. But obviously your mind's going to be different. So you need to really protect your mind, really get into a positive state, do everything to make yourself feel joyous, happy, glad, wonderful to be in life, and literally think in your own little box. Although I'm in the world, I do tend to be in my own little world all the time. I'm like, okay, this is going on, but I'm in my own world here. I'm loving my own life. I'm listening to great music. I'm having a great time. At the moment, I'm really busy, but I've never been more busier. I'm like, oh man, but it's good to be busy. But although it's good to be busy, I've got to give my body a rest as well, because I do have an autoimmune condition. Fibromyalgia is an autoimmune condition. It does mean that it lowers my immune system, but I'm taking good bacteria, which you should be doing. The world should be doing that, taking good bacteria. I have Hylac, something called Hylac, which is good bugs in droplet form. And that's actually what the world should be taking to help prevent getting the coronavirus as well. But no one seems to have spoke about that yet. But me now. So it's really important. And obviously you need to be making sure you're eating healthily, like having vegetables like broccoli, spinach, all the green leafy vegetables. Have some vitamin C, like get some oranges or have some orange juice. Fresh orange juice is better than concentrated. Have some nice herbal teas that calm the tummy, like chamomile's very good. I know Sam, when they met me, they got chamomile, so chamomile's very calming. You need to practice breathing techniques to calm the mind as well. So you should be doing like there's breathing from the tummy. So basically, the correct way you breathe is when you breathe in, your tummy should go out. You should go. See, so when you breathe in, your tummy should actually go out. This is abdominal breathing, correct breathing. A lot of people breathe wrong. So you should be breathing. When you breathe in, your tummy should go out like a balloon. And when you breathe out, your tummy should go in. So you should be practicing abdominal breathing to calm the mind. So when your mind is in chaos and it's going around, and it's got all this stuff flying around about the coronavirus and all the problems and every chaos in the world, you should just be doing stuff like that, like chilling out, listening to music, watching movies, doing your hobbies, your interests, your passions, projects. Breathing, washing your clothes, eating great food. Like I said, do some gentle exercise, because if you're not getting out, your legs muscles are going to start seizing up, social hips, and then you're going to start having problems. And when you start going out, your legs are going to get wobbly and might even collapse, especially if you've got problems like me, for example, with fibromyalgia. Your body can get into that state anyway. Now, with fibromyalgia, exercise can cause pain, but if you don't do some, you can also get a lot more pain. So I try to do some each day. Yesterday I went out for 2 hours rather than doing them on my mat exercise. I got toilet rolls. But this morning I was doing well. This afternoon, because I was awake all night and slept in the day. This afternoon, I was busy doing exercises on my exercise mat. Put your favourite music on if you get bored doing exercises. Just do some stretches. And I have a whole routine I go through. So I've seen various physiotherapists in my time for different parts of my body. And I just keep up all those exercises as a complete routine. I put them all together. So, so my hips are exercised, my neck's exercised. All you have to do for your neck is just sit here and you just have to go like this. And this can help to, free the neck up. Especially when I'm sat at a computer like this. Well, it's good to just do some gentle exercise. You need to be doing these type of things. Ray, Sam, yeah, been drinking that. Oh, you've been drinking the chamomile tea. That's good. So chamomile is very good for soothing the tummy, calming the nerves. Ginger, if you've got problems with your tummy, if you've got an upset tummy, so maybe you suffer with irritable bowel syndrome and all the stuff that's going on in the world is just making you more upset. Have some chamomile to calm down. If you've got like an upset tummy, if you feel it's really icky, have some ginger, mix the two together. I recommend like Pucker 3 ginger, they're good. The ginger's a lot more easier on the tummy than the Twinings one, I find. Stuff like that. So, just try and relax and try and think good thoughts and just think, I'm here in my home, I'm safe, I'm doing well. Positive self-talk is really, really important. Affirmations are really important, like today I'm feeling good, I'm alive, I'm grateful and thankful for being in my home, I'm here, I'm breathing, I got my favorite foods around me, I got my favorite movies on, I'm feeling really good. Make sure you have like a nice bath and shower, keep clean. People are on about washing their hands, but you should be keeping your body clean. If you're out a lot and you are going out and you're mixing with other people, you should be cleaning your body as well, and your clothes and all these type of things, not just washing your hands, Ray, I have some 70% Jamaican rum to help me relax. Oh, bless you, Ray. I'm not an alcohol drinker, but I'm glad that it helps you. I know you can get rum balls as well. I don't know if you've ever tried them. They're little balls of chocolate, like truffles, and they got rum in them. I used to buy them for people years ago. They really smell strong. But yeah, so, if you are going food shopping, buy some of your favourite foods if you can afford them, splash out a bit, and just make sure that you're really happy at home. And I don't, personally, I'm not gonna sit at home every single day and never go out, because to me that is completely being scared, and it doesn't really help. It just fuels fear. Do you know what I mean? Obviously if I'm contagious I would, but I'm not contagious, I haven't got the virus, so I think it's important that you if you can go out and get some fresh air, especially if you can do it without being close bodily proximity to someone, then you should go and spend some time like having some fresh air and making yourself feel good, because if you're indoors all the time, it can make you feel claustrophobic. I know personally, as an introvert extrovert who has some introverted tendencies, that if I spend too long indoors, it just drives me mad. It's just like, it's too much, I've got to get out. I've just got to get out and have some fresh air, do some walking, to improve my body health and stuff like that, and obviously you need to make your own entertainment at home, whether that's just colouring books. You can get adult colouring books now. So obviously colouring books must be very therapeutic. You can buy some adult coloring books, for example, on Amazon. You can start coloring in. And this is really important, like types of therapy to keep your mind sane and feeling good, you know, like light therapy. Like I have a laser, like a desktop laser that my dad bought me, right? And I can put it on and it'll make all beautiful, like kind of like different lights on the ceiling. If you look at that, it's very therapeutic. It takes your mind off all the type of outside problems and stuff like that. My dad also bought me some, I don't know if I've got it. Oh yeah, he bought me another one here. Sorry. So you can get stuff like this, right? And this is what I got for Christmas. And this is a similar thing. So this is like laser stuff. I might have to take my keyboard mouse out a minute. See if I can get it to work on the keyboard without breaking my keyboard mouse. I'll see if I can get it to work, because this is the same sort of thing. So sometimes light therapy can really help as well, I find. See? Light therapy, people. Look at that. You can't see it, but it goes round. Look. So this can be really, really good. This is like one that can fit in your computer or Mac, you know? So, yeah. You can't see it, but it's just doing loads of different colours now. And this one hangs up, so you can hang it up. And you can literally have it near your desk. I feel like keeping it there. It's quite pretty, isn't it? So yeah, it's quite good fun. But if I keep it on, you probably won't be able to watch it because it's a bit like, yeah, it's quite bright. So, but yeah, you can get things like that. So, you know, you can use hydrotherapy, which, you know, if you've got like a set of, if you're having a shower or bath, sometimes, you know, have a longer one. Have like a 40-minute shower or bath, you know, or an hour bath, and just relax and soak your favorite bubbles, or just like think of wonderful things. Think of all the things you're going to do when this is over. Make some plans about all the things you like to do, like the places you haven't seen yet, places you haven't been, people you haven't seen for a while. Make notes of all these type of things that you want to do when all this is over, you know, when things settle down. Obviously, things might be different, you know. We don't know what's going to happen, so things might be different, but it will be okay. You know, we will be okay. We will get through this. There will always be survivors, you know, and I intend to be a survivor, and I want you to be a survivor with me. It's very, very, very important, you know, and I want you to know that I'm here for you, that you aren't alone, you know, and that having a positive mindset is a good thing in bad times, because you need to protect your immunity. You need to protect your immune system. You need to make yourself as happy and healthy as possible. So I hope you found this, you know, information useful and helpful, because, you know, it's really essential to get into a positive frame of mind as much as possible, you know. And though there's lots of practical advice about physical stuff out there, there's not so much about the mental side of things, which is what's really, really hurting people a lot of the time. Because before you get there, or don't get it, you know, then it's the mindset that's the issue, isn't it? It's keeping our minds sane in a world that's chaotic. It's keeping our minds active and healthy and feeling good, you know. Like sometimes I'm sat here feeling like so good because I've made myself into a positive state of mind. I actually feel a little bit guilty that I shouldn't be feeling that way when everyone else is like kind of like fearful. But, you know, if I'm not looking after myself, if I'm not keeping myself well, then that affects other people. It'll affect my loved ones, like my family, my friends. It'll affect, you know, like people, you being here, you know, it'll affect my community if I'm not as healthy, as happy as possible, because it'll mean that, you know, I'm likely to get ill, you know. And so therefore it doesn't do me or other people any good if I'm sick or ill because my mind's bad and negative. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not selfish or bad for you to put yourself in a positive frame of mind and keep yourself there. In fact, it's essential. It's absolutely essential that you keep your mind as strong, positive, happy, healthy, and you enjoy your life as much as possible. Even if other people aren't enjoying their life, you need to enjoy your life, because you need to put a cocoon around yourself, and you need to have this no fear attitude. sensible attitude, you know, take precautions as much as you need to, but you need to have this sensible mindset that's calm and that's not reactive all the time, that's thinking, hang on a minute, I'm here, I'm in my own home, I'm not contagious, especially if you live on your own, no one else is around me, I'm fine. I'm a lucky one, you know. I can just be by myself, chill out, do what I like when I like, you know, be happy in my home, enjoy my projects, enjoy my time, listen to my favorite music, chill out with movies, have my favorite, you know, foods, have my bath, shower, feel great, read a nice book, do my hobbies and interests, you know, and I can be doing some courses at home, webinars at home, develop and grow myself, learn a new skill. You know, there's a lot of online counselors as well now. So if you do feel stuck, you know, people can counsel you or coach you even from home via Skype or video. You don't have to see someone in person. So if you do see a counsellor and you think, oh, I really need to talk to someone, and you know, you feel you can't talk to your friends, obviously friends are important. I'd say always talk to friends, you know, whenever you got a listening ear, be with your friends. But if it's like something that you really need to speak to a counsellor, psychiatrist about, a lot of them will, what, you know, you can get ones on the internet these days. Obviously some of them cost quite a bit, that's the only thing. But you know, there's always the Samaritans as well, if you feel really desperate and things like that, if you need someone to talk to, you know, there's always someone or something out there that can help you. So please don't have a fearful, negative mind, you know, that's really unhealthy for you. I mean, obviously a little bit of caution, a little bit of, you know, like anxiousness is fine, because it's natural to be cautious, because it's just our body's way of responding to the situation and wanting us to keep safe, right? And we do want to keep safe, right? But we don't want to keep thinking we've got to keep safe to the detriment of our own health, that we go completely insane and feel crazy. Do you know what I mean? Which it's hard to stay sane in this world at the moment, I think. So, you know, just focus on yourself, focus on keeping yourself well, build your cocoon and think, I'm okay at the moment. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm alive, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great, I'm feeling fantastic. I'm here in my own home. It's all bliss, everything's good. I'm in my own little world. I can choose my world, I can choose my reality, I can choose my life, I can choose my happiness, I can choose my joy. And I can choose not to live in fear, and I can choose to live a happy life. And be very grateful and thankful for everything I've got and that I'm here right now in life. And I can look forward to my future, and I can't start planning what I'm going to do, you know, when this is over, what things I need to tick off my list and to do, you know. So I think that's very important. Anyway, I hope you found this useful, helpful, insightful in any way. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. Oh, thank you for the thumbs up so much. And I'm going to love you and leave you for now, but you are not alone. Just remember that you're very much not alone. I'm here with you and I love you implicitly. Thank you for being part of my community. Thank you, Sam, my best friend. Thank you, Ray, and love to Andy, who's home at the moment. Hope you get well soon. I'm glad that helps. Anyway, have a lovely, happy day, night, and look forward to seeing your next video or live stream. Don't forget to subscribe if you're watching and haven't already. Subscribe and hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live. Right now, I post a new video. Take care. I love you lot. See you soon. Bye.